Christy Cooney hands over Sam Maguire. It's going to Dublin. It's going to Bryan Cullen, because Dublin are the All-Ireland champions for the 23rd time. They are the top team, the best team in Ireland in 2011.
I suppose being captain of the team, it's obviously a huge honour for me, but you know, it's very easy to lead a group like this. They were very supportive, in fairness, and you know, they got behind me from day one when Pat made me captain.
For the last couple of winters now, we met up and we looked at, you know, what happened against Tyrone, losing by whatever it was, 16 points. Kerry the next year, 17 points. You know, what went wrong, and then, you know, what do we need to do to change it?
We had the belief to go after teams, and when the chips were down and we needed to get a victory and we were behind, we had the resolve to get out there and get those scores. From day one, Bryan Cullen said this is we'd 6 steps to get to where we want to be, and that was just step 6 of 6.
It's all over. Dublin have won the All-Ireland.
And it goes, may go with the fist here, or will he go for goal? Kavanagh! What a start for Tyrone!
When Pat came in as manager, he looked to change things around as regards to how we played.
Barry Cahill, he's really quick on his feet. Good sidestep. Free man is Joe McMahon! Unbelievable! They are so comfortable on this big stage, and problems for Billings and Caffrey.
With Pillar, it was certainly more open style of football, and we did score an awful lot of points, but against the top 2-3 teams, we were conceding quite a bit too.
Dublin hammered 3-14 to 1-8.
Yeah, I suppose when we came in first, like, we had got 2 years, so the plan was a 2-year plan, and I suppose after the first year then we had to look at things in a different way.
But this man has been the key. Paul Galvin, Darragh has been prominent as well. That goes away from O'Sullivan, who's been marked by Dennis Bastick. Goal chance here for Kerry. It's the Gooch, and it's a goal. The first goal that Dublin have conceded in this year's championship.
I think once you get beaten by 17 points and 15 points 2 years in a row in the quarter-final, it really isn't that hard to work out that you've got to improve your defence. You could point to loads of different things, but at the end of the day, for 2 years in a row in the biggest game of the championship, we just hadn't defended at all, and you know, it was an obvious place to start.
That was obviously the first area I suppose we had to tighten up on, try and make ourselves a little bit harder to beat, because we always knew we had good forwards. I suppose it was at the other end where we needed to improve.
Declan O'Sullivan, the marking hasn't been there all day, and Declan O'Sullivan, it is target practice for Kerry. There is the whistle. Dublin have been torn to shreds and hammered by 17 points by a Kerry team that was supposedly on the way down. They'd too many miles on the clock, people said. Their reply has been stunning.
I mean, you know, people in sport will always say, you know, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got, and that was pretty much the case with us. So I mean, something had to change.
Like, Bernard Brogan's not going to win a game for himself now, and same with Cooper's not going to win a game by themselves either. Like, it's a team thing, 3-on-3 now, and everyone has to buy into that belief that it is a team thing.
Well, Pat totally changed the style from my game anyway. I'd be a natural lazy corner forward. This is the stereotypical corner forward, but Pat changed that last year. He worked me to the bone. He was the reason behind my footballer of the year anyway. Every training session he'd pull and drag me, and he was always picking on me, but that drove me on, and he gets us working in the full forward line, and it's something that, like, full forward lines wouldn't be used to, you know.
Croke Park is a massive place, and against the likes of Colin Cooper or those type of lads, Kerry lads, Declan O'Sullivan, Darren O'Sullivan, you know, you can't be playing just 6 lads in defence anymore. You need to have just midfielders and wing forwards running back, and you know, that was something that we worked on for the last 3 years.
There is a lot of science goes behind it, but we're very lucky with the kind of people we have in the background too. I think we have a couple of PhDs and a few doctors, and you know, if you can get people who know what they're doing, then you just let them off and trust what they're doing is the right thing, you know.
People always talk about Dublin next year, but I say the team as a whole, like, we weren't totally ready if you look back on things, and in 2010 that was the year when we really felt that we were a team that could really challenge for it.
You know, it's great credit to them that they have held their nerve, shown no panic, kept plugging away, thrived maybe on the indiscipline that Dublin have shown, which is probably down to inexperience more than anything else.
And Dublin way too loose in their half-back line. Here's an opportunity for Derek Kavanagh. Brilliant score from Kavanagh.
Bit of immaturity and lack of patience, and we panicked in those last 10 minutes. But we took that experience on board.
10 seconds remaining. A goal to win it and win a place in the All-Ireland final. Bernard Brogan going for the point. Has he got it? Yes, he has. But
I'd say, as you know, we were a point away, and we were just a bounce of a ball, a bit of luck away from being in an All-Ireland final last year, and we were ready to be champions last year, and it was just a bit unlucky and a bit of an inexperience on the day that cost us.
the 3 minutes are up, 20 odd seconds over. Cork closing in on a place in the All-Ireland final, and they're back again. Dublin have fallen short in yet another semi-final.
Pat, how would you describe Pat as a manager? Very focused, very intense guy, knows exactly what he wants, and he knows how to get the best out of those around him.
I suppose the earlier team spirit, that mainly comes from the group itself, and I think after 2009, when we had to do something radically different, I suppose we upped some of the intensity in training, and sometimes when people go to difficult places in terms of their physical preparation, it does bring a bond.
The training was tough. I'm not gonna lie. Mickey Whelan put us through our paces now. It's been going since January, and even hitting the weights before that. I think everyone knows about the morning sessions, and it was done well though. They're smart about it. They don't just run us up and down mountains just for the crack. It's all structured and it's organised, and Mickey's very good. He knows his stuff, and it's all kind of short and sharp, and it's to the point.
45 lads up at 6 in the morning, down training in the rain and snow out in Clontarf.
I had to get up on the motorbike some of the days, so I'd be putting on Under Armour bottoms and tops and 4 or 5 shirts and stuff to get on the bike in the ice and in the cold, and it was just it'd wake you up going up on the motorbike across it there at 5:30 in the morning.
It was something different. It was something that most of them hadn't done before, and I suppose it's just stretching you outside your comfort zone, and I have to say the application in those sessions was even better in 2011 than it had been in 2010.
In January alone, I think we did 30 odd sessions, so it's they're uncomparable really. Club commitments and county commitments. It's just become so professional. Every team is just looking for the edge, and all the players are seem willing to put in that effort and go that extra yard.
When you're absolutely knackered from work or from college, and you train in the morning and that evening too, it is hard. It is very draining. The team were always there to push it forward, to push it on. I guess that forms a huge sense of trust with one another. Those who were around during the league and the championship are those who passed the test. So for me, I think it was won then in that month of January.
Kind of the way we looked at the year was, and Bryan Cullen said it from the start, is that we had 6 steps, we had 6 games, go through Leinster, win Leinster, and then go through to the All-Ireland final. That's 6 games we had.
Here's Paul Flynn. To his left is Alan Brogan. Here's Flynn. Here's a goal. Wonderful strike by Paul Flynn.
The Leinster campaign, what really sticks out about us, probably that we didn't obviously hit the heights that we were capable of hitting. A little bit of a scare against Kildare, having had a good lead, and I suppose let them back into it a little bit, having gone down to 14 men.
This is about the yellow card that was soft in the first half. There's a second yellow card, and now there's a red for Owen O'Gara.
So double yellow followed by red. He's gone.
Just when they seem to be gliding to a Leinster final, the second half has taken on a whole new image. Eamon Callaghan, chance of a goal, and he stuck it!
What a goal!
Out of the blue! And Kildare rejoice.
Against Kildare, I guess, again, we were up by, I think, 4 or 5 points in the last 2 or 3 minutes, and they scored 1-1. And, we were kind of looking around again saying, how has this happened? And, we looked at scenarios whereby we would be up by a couple of points with 5-10 minutes to go, and how to play the game out. But we just didn't do it, we just didn't do it.
James Kavanagh, to his credit, gets up because Kildare need an equaliser. Tomas O'Connor is in there to win the high ball. Comes back out to Eamon O'Callaghan. Is he the man? He is the equaliser.
I suppose luckily I would say as a defender, we got a soft free. Bernard Brogan might tell you differently as a forward.
Every game you need a bit of luck. Like no team's won All Ireland without a bit of luck, and that was one of the bits of luck we got. That's what you need on the day. Like luck is, as they say, is opportunity meets preparation.
71 minutes and 8 seconds.
Oh no!
The referee has given a free, and Kildare protest. But was it a foul, Kevin?
I don't, Marty. Look at how, if you know the game, how could you call a free at 14-all with seconds left in it?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that free that people are saying or slagging about. But no, I was just going for the ball, and our legs got caught or something like that. I remember I was just impeded a bit. The ball spilled, and the ref called the free. Like there's just been millions of frees like it. It was a questionable time of the game to give a free that is kind of a 50-50 one. But no, we were delighted to get it. And
Bernard Brogan with the kick to put Dublin perhaps into the Leinster final. Straight between the posts, and the referee blows the full-time whistle, and Dublin are in the Leinster final. Bernard Brogan's last-minute free wins it by centimetres. That's what Bernard Brogan is saying. Tears of incredible disappointment and heartbreak for Kildare. Full-time score, Dublin 1-12, Kildare 1-11.
The Leinster Championship was a difficult championship this year. I think the teams are getting stronger and stronger in Leinster. I mean, in my 3 years involved, certainly when I came in first, Dublin had a big gap between them and the rest of the teams in Leinster. Like, that gap has definitely closed.
Big hitters in these scoring stakes in the championship so far. Wexford running up an impressive tally of 7 goals and 52 points in their 3 championship games against Offaly, Westmeath and Carlow. Dublin a little more modest in their 2 championship games, 228 so far. But Dublin starting very much on the front foot here with Bernard Brogan trying to make life difficult for Graham Malloy. It's a very difficult angle. No bother to Bernard Brogan. Dublin off the mark inside the opening 20 seconds. Ger Brennan driving forward and loses possession.
We were terrible against Wexford. We switched off. We talked about it in the weeks leading up to it about not being complacent. That if we are complacent, that Wexford will win.
And Wexford move to within a point of Dublin.
Oh, I can't put my finger on it, but that complacency did kind of creep in.
Right stuff from Wexford. Malone getting forward. Plenty of support players getting forward. That's PJ Bangle with the offload. Chance of a goal here, and it's in the back of the net, and Wexford have got the goal. And Red Barry has found the back of the net, and Wexford go 3 points clear. Paul Flynn. Dennis Pastic. There's Mossy Quinn lifting it in over the top, looking for Bernard Brogan, and off the line, goalkeeper Kane, and the ball ends up on the back of the net. And what a hugely cruel goal that is on Anthony Masterson.
I know their keeper made an uncharacteristic error for him, which gave us the lifeline. But I suppose we kind of drove on from there again, which was, showed that when it was really put up against us, we did have the ability to kind of take the victory.
Here is Jason McCarthy trying to get away from Donny Waters. Still Jason McCarthy. He may well go all the way. Oh boy, he goes all the way. And the defender has driven Dublin further clear here. What a terrific goal that is by Jason McCarthy. He started the move, and boy did he finish it.
But look at the quality of the finish, Adrian. We get a bird's eye view of it here. Beautiful line here, and bang.
Dublin have reclaimed the Delaney Cup. They've come through. James McCarthy with that goal in the second half. Arguably, it was a decisive moment for Dublin. It has finished Dublin 2 goals and 12 points. Wexford 1-12.
I suppose we had a tough match against Kildare, and we had difficulty in beating Wexford. So it wasn't the smoothest campaign, but it does sort of harden you up, and it's no harm when you're going into the All-Ireland series,
11 times they've met between league and championship, and it's 5 wins each and 1 draw. Clearly, Dublin and Tyrone have the X factor. And where we go, the All-Ireland quarter-final, and it's a great ball. Brogan! Brilliant save by Macauley. It's going straight between the posts. Here's a chance for Ger Brennan. Ger Brennan, the overlap is provided by Alan Brogan. Bernard, the brother, was calling for it. And it's floating like a butterfly. Ger Brennan on the turn. It's looking good. Martin Smith got a hand to it. Brogan, more importantly, gets a boot to it. Here's Bernard Brogan. And Dublin make it look very, very easy. Connolly is there, flicks it back. Chance for the captain, Bryan Cullen. And that is over the bar. James McCarthy, son of John, lays it off to Ger Brennan on the turn. Here comes Brogan. Here comes sheer utter class. Wonderful play by Dublin onto the left post. It's an exhibition of football. And Brogan, it's over the bar. There's a chance here for Paul Blaine, and he's going to take his points. A little bit of luck about this. It's a real classy performance by the St. Vincent's man. Barry Cobb. He's been known to score goals down at this end. Here he comes. Dublin can do no wrong. It is an exhibition par excellence in an All-Ireland quarter-final. Plenty of new talent emerging for Tyrone, but no question whatsoever who the best team really was. For Conor Gormley and Tyrone, heartbreak and disappointment. But for Hill 16, they now know they're heading back to this venue to take on Donegal, and Dublin will no doubt look back on this particular performance as one of the best in many, many years.
The Tyrone performance this year was really, I suppose it's the best team performance I've been involved in, really. It's one of those days where everything goes right for you. I think it's the only one we've had since I've been involved. We've certainly had our fair share of days where everything's gone wrong, so it was nice to have. It was always nice to see the flip side.
The Tyrone match was a good performance by us. Probably, if you move it on, the Donegal match, we probably showed our most resolve because that was such a difficult situation, and the team really stayed focused and composed. And so, although the two performances were good performances, I would say the Donegal one was actually a more impressive one in terms of what we had to do that day mentally was break down. A very, very good defensive team, and eventually we did do that. So for me, that was a significant day for us.
And the semi-final gets underway. And Michael Murphy came out onto the 40 to try and get the opening.
The Donegal game was very, very strange, to be honest with you.
It's a game I want to forget as a footballer because it was awful to play against. It wasn't Gaelic football for me.
And obviously we want to get out there and play football and go at our players and kick points and do all this fancy type of stuff, but they didn't let us get any ball. We had to fight tooth and nail to get any sort of ball. We knew we were going to have to dig it out against them, and they didn't let us down. They came even harder than we thought they would, and all credit to them that they showed serious resolve to hold that for so long in the game.
It was a frustrating game, to be honest. We just couldn't get our hands on the ball. Like they had so much possession.
Now David Walsh. So many hand passes.
And when we did have the ball, they were back in such numbers that it was frustrating. It was tough to break down. I think it wasn't a pretty game of football by any means.
Looking for support, finally kicking it. Nobody in there, absolutely nobody.
To be honest with you, I was a little bit amazed that a team actually came to Croke Park and set themselves out in that manner. I didn't think they'd have that many people back, and I didn't think it would be as difficult as it was to break down.
James McCarthy now. Alan Brogan. Quick ball in. That's a little better into Bernard Brogan.
Like any ball that came in, I'd have to deal with 2 or 3 men boxing the head off me. But no, that's the name of the game.
Lots of jeering from the Donegal fans this time, but now there's nothing to Bernard Brogan as he kicks over his second pointed free and levels the game after 25 minutes here.
I suppose the cornerstone of it was really just working hard when we didn't have the ball. So, you know, obviously when we did have it, using it well, which we've always done in the past, but you know, when we didn't have it, working hard to get it back and making life very difficult for the opposition to score against us.
There's the point I was telling you about the Donegal men trying to get very close to the free taker.
Well, it should be 13 metres back as that's hit in, and it's nicely over by Cluxton. Over 200 hand passes now by Donegal. 20 minutes to play. What say you that they will get to 300?
I think the most crucial moment for the team was the comeback against Donegal. 3 points down, as I said many times this year already, that it was like about 8 or 9 points the way the Donegal lads are playing.
3 points, this will make it 2.
He's got it. First of the second half for him. All of their scores from frees.
Where we showed mental strength there was we didn't panic. We kept doing what we've been training all year to do.
Ger Brennan now, driving forward.
Before we went into that game, we spoke about it could be the last 5 minutes where we only go 1 point ahead and we win. But we have to just remain patient, and the opportunities will come up.
Kicked on to McMenamin, who's got space near the sideline. Trying to work it in here, trying to take on McHugh first of all. Then Diarmuid Connolly blocked there. Comes back to Cassidy. Connolly again. 20 metres out. And that's a free in. Chance to level it.
And it needn't have been a free in because of the poor reaction.
Oh, that's Diarmuid Connolly there against Marty Boyle.
You've got to keep your discipline when these things are on a knife edge. He's gone.
Oh, it's a red. Diarmuid Connolly sent off.
You know, for me that was the indicator that we had reached a level of mental strength whereby the only people that could defeat us was ourselves.
Runs as far as Kevin Nolan. Dublin have got to be daring. And maybe McMenamin from Bernard Brogan's pass. He's got 3 defenders against him. He still manages to get the left boot to it and force it over the bar to level the game. Kevin McMenamin's first point, and the teams are level for the 3rd time in this match.
I suppose the mental strength of the team, it's always been something that's been debated over the last number of years. I'd be of the opinion that invariably we've probably been beaten by teams that were better than us in previous years. It didn't always come down to mental strength, but no, definitely this year I think the lads really stood up obviously in the last 10 minutes of the game.
12 men from Dublin have won an All-Ireland final in the past. Can 14 now win a semi-final against 15 here? It's Michael Darragh Macauley giving it out to O'Gara. His first contribution. It's a brilliant block down there. I think it was Paddy McGrath. But still a chance here. Cullen over the bar and Dublin lead. Bryan Cullen keeps up his record of getting a point a game in championship matches. Match number 5. Donegal now have to start taking chances. This plan of keeping loads and loads of bodies back is hardly going to work when they're a point behind and only 5 minutes to go. There was a tug on the Dublin player.
The pull was on Bernard Brogan as he darted to the corner, Ger.
So in front of a packed hill, in front of 81,500 people, Bernard Brogan can kick his 4th point from a free. He's rattled it up and over. They all count, and it's 8-6. It's about getting to the final. It's about getting there on the 18th of September. Kerry are there, Dublin are there. The Dubs were down to 14 players from the 58th minute when Diarmuid Connolly was red carded. The fans don't care how they managed to reach the final as Pat Gilroy and Jim McGuinness have a word.
I didn't realise the scale of how kind of ugly a game it was until after the game. And I went out and was kind of talking to people and they were like, Jesus, that was some game of football here.
it was a tough day at the office now, the toughest I've had in a long time, and to come out that side, the right side of that game was a real. It instilled a lot of belief in the team.
I suppose it was a frustrating day for us, and it was a very difficult game to enjoy. Even when the final whistle went, I wasn't probably as ecstatic as you think I'd be, having reached our first All-Ireland final in 16 years.
And it was such a difficult game that actually that evening was a great sense of relief that we had gone into a final.
So now we can start thinking in terms of Kerry v Dublin. Last time it was the 2009 quarter-final. The margin of victory was 17 points then for Kerry. Dublin now know the challenge.
Yeah, well, the game against Kerry is obviously it's Dublin Kerry is the most infamous game in Gaelic football, and my man being from Stowell and Kerry, and us spending a lot of our time as growing up in Kerry and playing football down there, and the likes of that. Like it was a very special day for us, and obviously my dad had great days against Kerry and some terrible days against Kerry.
This is David Hickey coming away now. This is Tony Hanaho. In now to Bernard Brogan. He's in front of the goal. He can't miss. He has it.
The rivalry between the Brogans and Kerry and the crack that we have when we're down there has always been great, and there's great respect between Dublin and Kerry.
If you look back at the history books, I suppose the Dublin teams that's really remembered is that team in the 70s that won 3 All-Ireland medals.
Memorable game indeed.
I suppose we said all year that it was going to take 6 games to win an All-Ireland title, so rather than looking at the games as I suppose different stages of the competition, we just addressed them as game 1 of 6, 2 of 6, 3 of 6, 3 of 6 and so on. So I suppose with the final it was just game 6 as far as we were concerned, just another step on the ladder that we needed to take. And none of us had been there before, and the Kerry lads have been there year in, year out, and we certainly had an advantage.
I suppose going into the final you're playing a very good team in Kerry, and one of the things about playing Kerry is that there's so many good players. You can't focus on one or two. You just have to try and play as a team against them and focus on the things you're good at, because if you focus on one fella, they've so many other good fellas.
They just have match winners everywhere, and you really, really just have to be on your game and have that little bit of luck to beat them. That's how good they are.
It's Deliverance Day for the Blue and Navy as they face the green and gold of Kerry. No place for excuses on today's menu. It's time to stand up and show that you're football's best in the match that matters most this year. 122nd All-Ireland final gets underway.
With Dublin, when you're going into a final, you could have concerns about the fact that it is a final, but the reality of it is they'd played before 83,000 before, and that was the only difference, was this was a final, and I think we had in our own heads that this wasn't the end of anything as well for this team. This was the start of something, and irrespective of what the result was, the one thing we wanted to do was go out and perform.
I met Pat earlier on in the week, and I remember one of the things he told me was like, Mick, you'll realise that 10 minutes into this match, it's just another game of football, and it was like it really is. I know people keep saying it's the All-Ireland final, and you're looking around the crowd and there's 80 odd thousand people, but after 10 minutes into the game, you just realise it's a game of football. It's me against my man, and let's see what we can do.
Cluxton shooting, and that's gone left of target. He's missed the opportunity. Third wide for Dublin.
The game plan coming into the final really didn't change hugely from the previous games. Obviously containing their forwards was a big priority. We felt if we could do that, keep ourselves in the game, we'd have a great chance.
On to Darren O'Sullivan. This man has got great pace. Here he goes. Dished off here beautifully. What a goal! That's an absolute peach.
We were unlocked by Darragh O'Sullivan's pace, really, and he's done that to pretty much everyone he's come up against this season. So people and certainly the spectators are probably expecting the floodgates to open up.
When Colin Cooper got that goal in the first half, I remember I'd kept right to keep it Declan O'Sullivan, I think, and I guess I thought we'd enough there, we should be okay, and so when I went in, I was quite annoyed for a couple of seconds, but again, the mental strength which has been instilled with us by Pat and the management team is, forget about it as quick as you can and focus on the next ball.
Like it happened to us before, we'd been in that situation and we didn't deal with it, and we said if we're in that situation again we'll deal with it, and we did, and the goal went in and we came back and got a few scores.
Bernard Brogan kicking this, routine one for him, puts it over the bar.
And that was the sign of the way the team and the way Pat has set us up mentally.
Bryan Cullen lobbed in there, touchdown brilliantly, and finish. Oh, should have been by Alan Brogan until Brendan Keeley got in the way. Cluxton kicking up into the air. It's got accuracy, it's got everything. It's over the bar. Fair distance from the goal. Mark O'Shea out there. What a kick, what a point. That's superb by Bernard Brogan. Top footballer last year. He's got it.
I knew we had prepared. We said, Kerry were going to come hard at us, but it didn't matter what happened. We would continue to do the things that we had said we would do, and that worked out well for us. There was no shock in our team when the goal went in. It was disappointment by guys, but things tightened up considerably, and Kerry only got another 2 points in the first half.
Back out to the Gooch, back out to Galvin, and the enfant terrible puts it over. Half time at the All-Ireland Football Final 2011.
I was coming in at half time, you were, reasonably happy with what we had done in the first half, and we went over what we said we would do in the second half.
Now, before we went out, Bryan Cullen, he stood, and I remember Alan Brogan speaking too, and the words they said just gave us that final G-up just to go out there and believe that we're not losing this, that we have the skill, we have the talent to win this All-Ireland.
I mean, all the pressure was on Kerry. I mean, no one expected us to win that game, bar those directly involved and those close to the squad.
During the week, and we said, look, if we're within 3 or 4 points with 15 or 20 minutes to go, we'll try and go at them a bit and maybe eke out a goal.
He hasn't come to midfield for the start of the second half. This time they've gone with the conventional 8 and 9 in there. Mara Sheehan forward by Alan Brogan into the corner. Macauley made up a lot of ground. Now he's through and he's hauled down outside the large rectangle. Kerry resorting to hauling him down. Have come from free kicks, and this one is straight up and over. Good start to the second half.
I thought personally that they wouldn't come back at us this round. I thought we kind of had the legs on them just from being out there, and then they came at us very strong, obviously. So not that I wasn't ready for it, I just wasn't really expecting it.
And he's measured it brilliantly to kick it over the bar. It's Kerry's first pointed free. Kicking long towards Donaghy. Route one ball into Donaghy, and he fists it over the bar. 2 in a row for Kerry. They're right back in it. He's pumped up.
I was more concerned that we were struggling to get our hands on the ball around the middle, and I suppose our pressure game around the middle third, where we've prided ourselves on turning teams over all year, had faded a little bit, and I suppose Kerry were holding on to the ball and I suppose toying with us a little bit. So I felt if we didn't get a little bit more of a platform from our midfield pairing and I suppose our half forward line in terms of breaking ball, that we were certainly going to struggle.
All of a sudden we sort of went from a 2-point lead into a 4-point deficit,
And Eamon Fennell has come into midfield, going off Dennis Bastick. Dublin policy to freshen up midfield, but they need a lot of freshening up because Colin Cooper is off. And Cooper steadies himself and knocks it brilliantly over the bar. He's got a goal and 3 now. And Kerry and their fans will feel they're within touching distance of victory in the All-Ireland. 110 to 9 points.
I remember looking up at the scoreboard and kind of thinking to myself, this just can't happen again. I don't know if I can do all this training over the winter, sit down and have those meetings, those what went wrong meetings. Funnily enough, I heard the crowd begin to cheer then as well, and you never hear the crowd as a player, because you're so focused on the game. And the hairs on the back of my neck did stand up for that brief moment, and I got a bit of a spring in my step. And I suppose I just tried to encourage the lads around me to drive on, to believe that we could do it.
My legs were hurting badly, like, and I was nearly going to call to the bench because I could barely walk. But I was like, I just here, I think I found an extra few yards in me somewhere, like, and I was like, here, let's just put it in here for 10 minutes.
We knew we'd get a chance, and I always believed. Obviously, we were worried that the time was running out, but I always knew we'd get one chance.
Under 7 minutes to go. Alan Brogan sent in. McMenamin dodging. McMenamin scoring! There's a point between the teams, and Kevin McMenamin has kicked a beauty and sent Dublin fans into raptures.
The ball broke in the middle. Ball was popped to Alan, and the right man was there to receive it off Alan, and for some reason it was Darragh O'Sullivan in front of him. I don't know what he was doing back there, but he was after chasing all the way back, and he was knackered as well, so all he could do was throw a flailing arm at Kev, and that goal went in. We knew it was started rolling, the crowd got behind us, and you could feel there's a feeling about the place that something special was going to happen.
Now who's going to win the All-Ireland? Tom O'Sullivan and Anthony Marr in the end from the pass from O'Sullivan. Down went Michael Macauley.
We started picking up a few loose balls, and I think the possession stats, I think for the last 10 minutes or so, I think it's 70-30 in our favour. So whatever we did, we managed to swing it.
I was like, we're still a point behind, and we've got to keep focused. And I just saw them on the pitch, and the lads looked like they were tuned into it. So I was very confident that we would go on and score more.
Kevin Nolan hitting one. It's over! They're level! Kevin Nolan, his first ever point in championship football.
But I think that last 6 or 7 minutes, we did play really well. We should have scored more.
Dished into Michael Macauley. Very awkward angle. Holding. Trying to make a better angle. Comes back towards Bernard Brogan. He's nailed it!
That point was so key to us. If it had not have gone over, I don't know how we would have responded, because there wasn't a whole lot of time left at that stage.
Kerry still look menacing. Brian Sheehan swiftly out there. On towards the substitute, Daniel Bohan. To Donaghy, high up into the clouds. Gooch is in there. Doesn't need the Gooch, it's gone over. It's a remarkable point by Kieran Donaghy. He's kicked his second, he's kicked the team's level. Are we heading for a replay for the first time in 11 years? It's 111 to 111. Oh, Ger Brennan was given a free kick, and he's now knocked Donaghy out of the way, and the free kick is going to be cancelled. And that kind of silliness will annoy Pat Gilroy and the management team, and correctly so.
Now, when that incident at the end of the game when I kind of raised my hand, I remember being fouled and getting up to take a quick free. So it was a silly thing in hindsight what I did, but again, it's that kind of brief little red mist that comes over sometimes. I didn't think I was going to get sent off, but I was very lucky that Eamon Fennell, got up and won the ball.
Alan Brogan, McMenamin. Is there a winner? Who's going to get it? Will it be today? Macauley. On as far as Connolly, stopped in his tracks by Aidan O'Mahony. Still Diarmuid Connolly. Kerry back defending, McMenamin attacking, and he's tripped, and it's a free in.
When the free was given, I remember Bernard picked up the ball. I remember thinking that's a little bit out of his range for his left foot.
Well, when Kev went down for the free at the end, I went over and gave him a little kiss in the head, because I knew what the outcome was going to be.
I glanced at the clock. I knew no matter what happened, even if he missed, we were going to get another crack at it.
I never had any intention of kicking the ball. As I always turned to Clucko. That's Clucko's 100%, 95% spot.
It fell the right position, exactly to his sweet spot, and I had total confidence that he would just go up. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better person to do it.
I remember looking up, Brennan was called to Stephen, and he hesitated. He kind of walked to the pitch and he stopped. He wasn't sure what he was at.
But what's gas about Stephen, he normally just rambles up, jogs up, puts it down, kicks it over and jogs back. But the difference between this score and the previous scores he's kicked in the other 5 games was that he was jogging out, and he says to Rory O'Carroll, he says, Rory, how long is left injury time? And Rory says, there's 2 minutes, grand. So you might notice if you see the video, he walks up nice and slowly, and he said, right, this is going to be the last kick of the game, whether it goes over or not.
with the angle about 45 metres. Here he comes to win the All-Ireland. Cluxton, he's put it over the bar, and Dublin are in front by 112 to 111. Cluxton, the hero, and the 2 minutes of added time has been played, and we now wait for the referee's whistle. Referee looks at his watch. Kerry, it's all over. Dublin have won the All-Ireland. The most dramatic, the most wonderful of finishes. Kerry beaten, Dublin triumph. What a triumph. It's Stephen Cluxton who's done it, as Dublin end a long barren spell of some 16 years and a first win in the final since 1995. They all go to Pat Gilroy. Sheer disappointment for all of the Kerry players, but the Sam Maguire Cup will be staying in the capital at least for the next 12 months.
Look, you know, when that whistle blows, you know, it's an incredible feeling, and I suppose you get yourself back together then, you know, in a couple of minutes. But it's a great feeling, and I suppose it's an enduring feeling after the game that you have a great sense of satisfaction, and you know, you put so much work in, and the group put so much work in. You don't always end up. There's only one team ends up the winner. I've no doubt Kerry did as much work as us, and same as the, you know, Donegal and Mayo and others that were in the quarter-final. So there's only one team gets that feeling, and it is a special feeling, and it does endure for weeks, you know.
As a young lad, started playing with Dublin when I was under 14s with the development squads and stuff, and it was always where you dreamed of being out in Croke Park all the way in final day, and then to actually win it was just something special. Words don't do justice to how I felt and to how my teammates felt.
You know, those 15 seconds maybe just straight after that, I suppose that's something that'll stick with me for a long time. Myself, Mick Macauley, Alan Brogan, and I think it was Cian O'Sullivan, just all, I suppose, came together right in the middle of the pitch actually, and I've honestly never felt emotion like it. It was incredible. It's something I suppose everyone should get to feel really, but only a select few do, unfortunately.
Christy Cooney hands over Sam Maguire. It's going to Dublin. It's going to Bryan Cullen, because Dublin are the All-Ireland champions for the 23rd time. They are the top team, the best team in Ireland in 2011.
A few minutes later I went up for the presentation after everything, and I had to ask someone what happened, like who kicked the final score. The euphoria had been so much I'd forgotten what had happened. But it was just crazy. Everyone was just jumping around, and I always believed that we'd get there, and I always wished and I always hoped that we'd get there, but I never thought I'd actually live the moment.
I'd have to say, just looking down here, the security down on Hill 16 must be brilliant, because they haven't managed to breach it and get on the field.
Before the game I would have said, oh, it's great that the fans come on, I want the fans to come on, and that's what it's all about, winning All Ireland and all that type of stuff, and the sea of blue out on the pitch. But actually living through it, I thought it was so much more special for the team and for the players and the management, and even for the fans, because you do the slap of honour, and it gives the players so much more time to enjoy it, and gives them such fond memories that other teams at the times gone by, they wouldn't have had these memories, because they wouldn't have been able to stay out on the pitch. They went up and collected the cup and it'd have to gone in, but we had nearly an hour out on the pitch that we could go around and soak it up and meet people and stand and hug and kiss and jump up into the hill, and it was just so special. And I think that I had doubts before the game, but after the game there's only one way to do it as a player, and that's the only way to win All Ireland is to have that time on the pitch so you can soak it up, because it's a special moment.
I think they're a very honest and humble group. I think they've handled themselves very well, you know, after defeats and also in victory. You know, I think, you know, it's very impressive the way they are with people from all different walks of life, and I think that's just the kind of people they are. They're just actually a genuinely very nice bunch of people who have good values and, you know, live their lives well.
A good friend of mine, you know, he's married and he's with kids, and he has a couple of kids. He said to me, he said, people always tell you know, getting married is the best day of your life, and then they'll tell you having kids is the best day of your life. And he said, well, I'm married and I have kids, and I can tell you that was the best day of my life. And he was only watching the game, so it just goes to show what it meant to people.
The team is it's so young, and there's so many born winners. They're lunatics. They just get out and just express themselves, and they don't even care about the football. They just go out and just enjoy it, and they can't be beaten.
Certainly would like to go maybe one better than the 83 and the 95 teams, and certainly win another All-Ireland if we can.
But I'm not going to take it for granted, because I know players haven't got it before, but I think now there's a monkey off our back who we have it in the back pocket, and let's go and do it again.
The talent's there, and I know from talking to lads the hunger is there to go on, so we'll apply our trade again next year as best we know how and see where it takes us.
It's no secret the bottom line for them is going to be, are they going to work as hard again? And if you put in the work, then there's a fair chance you might get the result.
I want to start by thanking these lads beside me. What a fabulous bunch of players. You've no idea how far we've gone for each other this year. What we've been through, the training, the hard work. Lads, it's all worth it today. I want to thank everyone connected with these bunch of lads, the clubs, their families, their girlfriends. We've been to hell and back over the last few years, and they're supporting us every bit of the way. I want to mention our management team. We've been fortunate enough to work with some unbelievable people. Pat Gilroy, David Wickie, Mickey Whelan, Paddy O'Donoghue, and everyone attached to the squad.
Well, after I won Football of the Year last year, myself and Pat, we were having a drink or whatever, and he was saying congratulations, and I was thanking him for all the help that he gave me. But he said to me, his dream was, that next year Dublin will be All-Ireland champions and Alan will be Player of the Year. And in fairness to him, he was right, so I'm just waiting to talk to him now to see what he wants next year.